Welcome back to the Culturally Distinct Podcast. It's your boy Black Adam. I'm glad you guys tuned back into the show, guys. You already know we every week we have a bank. We have a certain guest that come on that's a great person that's going to give you insight, going to give you influence, and going to give you information, man. So that's all what the show is all about. Thank you guys who tuned in. Thank you guys who subscribe to the channel, man. I thank you guys. We've been growing a lot. A lot of people been reaching out to us for sponsorships, guys. I'm reach out to you. I'm just busy right now. I'm doing some busy things, but I haven't forgot about you. So continue to support, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Shout out to my sponsor, 605 Adult Beverages, Call Audio, and Red Core Universe. Much love to you guys. Thank you guys for the support. I appreciate it. Also, I appreciate you guys. Today in Houston is 713 Day, guys. So if you're in Houston area, we got 713 Day. Slim Thug will be hosting it. Another comedian, Chinadu also will be hosting it. So they're going to be giving away free backpacks. They're going to be giving away everything out there. So guys, make sure you go out there. And it's sponsored by Checkers. So I got to go out there myself, guys. I got to go talk to Slim Thug for a little bit. But if you guys are in the 713 area, the Houston or any municipal area that's surrounded by Houston, any county, make sure you make your way out there. It's over there in Cypress off of 290, guys. So much love to you guys. Guys, as you know, every week we have a special guest on, man. And the guest that I have on today, man, he's a special individual because his everyday lifestyle is affiliated with something that you partake in. If it's dealing with the NFL, the NBA, real estate, some type of business, he's affiliated with this, man. And this brother, he's a sports agent by day. He's an author by night. He deals with IP. For those who know what IP is, that's your intellectual property. You know what I'm saying? He deals with NIL. He's an agent for the NBA and the NFL. And he also deals with real estate law and business law. Guys, all right, everybody, welcome to the show, my man, JJ Poole. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, man.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, man, thank you for coming on the show. I know you're a busy person, brother.
No doubt. This is true.
So, JJ, look, let's get started, man. So tell the people exactly where you're from.
I'm from Miami, Florida.
305, man.
Born and raised, 305. They're born and raised in the county of Dade.
Liberty City?
Liberty City. That's it.
Shout out to Liberty City, man.
Yeah, Liberty City. Liberty City is special because, many of the pro athletes people know to be from different types of universities, and they get credit for universities typically get credit for the athlete. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the guys, that made it big in the NFL, they come out of Liberty City. And so we have a special farm in Liberty City for sports athletes.
Yeah.
And Miami in general, specifically.
Yeah.
So, but it's also the ghetto.
Absolutely. Look, I stayed in Miami for a while. Actually, it was funny. I was talking to Ocho about 2 weeks ago. He was down here in Houston. He was shooting what's the show he does? Nightcap.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him. He was down here with Andre Johnson, and we was out at the spot. And I told him, I said, man, you know that Liberty City and New Orleans, because I'm originally from New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
I said, Miami and New Orleans are like 85% of all professional sports.
Yeah.
Like, that's true.
That's true.
I said, that's a breeding ground, man.
It's a breeding ground. And then here's the crazy part. A lot of the people from my time frame started to migrate to Atlanta for a better opportunity, mm-hmm. right? So it's a lot of people and then the hurricane came in New Orleans, and a lot of people migrated from New Orleans. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of Miami people and New Orleans people that were transplants into Atlanta. Now it's one of the more well-known sports hub for collecting athletes from, because those people had kids, and their kids are growing up here in these high schools in Georgia. So it all has a tie to it if you look back into the history of it.
That would be a good dissertation, man, because it's similar to here. Like, a lot of people from Louisiana, if they didn't go to Florida, they went to Houston, which is like 5 hours away. But that Texas breeding ground is like bigger than what it used to, because those kids that were supposed to be from Louisiana living in Houston now.
That's right. They either went to Houston or they came to Atlanta during that I think was it 2012
Yeah. Well,
when the
some
hurricane
had in
happened?
2005, but you talking about
2000,
they had
2005. I'm sorry. Yeah.
yeah Katrina. It happened in '05. Then you have, of course, over time you had more storms. Right? But yeah,
Yeah.
but that 2005 was the foundation.
2005 was the foundation.
Yeah. So JJ, man, let's get into it, man.
Yeah.
So how did you even get into sport agency, man? As a former player, like most former players, they get their money, man. They put it in the high yield savings or they put it in real estate. They say, man, I'm done. I'm good. I'm going to get me a
Yeah.
place in Panama and chill out. How did
Yeah. Well, I didn't intend to get into sports agency initially. So as the story goes, I cut my teeth in real estate. So initially I went to University of Georgia,
okay.
go Dogs. And so out of Georgia, originally I was in corporate America. And I was the youngest national sales coordinator in the history of the EI DuPont company at the time, which was a 200-year-old company. DuPont um, produces products in everything that touches your life,
Hmm.
right? From where you put your feet to where you lay your head. And I was the national sales coordinator for the Nylon 66 division, which is a division that provides fibers for the development of carpet throughout the world, commercial and residential, right? So carpet manufacturers buy from DuPont. All right, so I traveled, when I got that position, probably 3 to 5 days a week, right? And then I met a girl who I wanted to have a stronger relationship with, and eventually I did marry her.
Okay.
And I left out of the carpet business, and after I bought my first house. So when I bought my first house, the guy who was working with me, I never forget, the guy's name is Gary Pate. He said, man, listen, you're a sharp guy, man, and you make a good amount of money for your age. And I was 22 years old when this took place. He said, look at my check. And he showed me his check as a mortgage banker. This was back
Oh,
in 2000, 2001. And I went back, I did some evaluating. I said, listen, man, I'm tired of the traveling. This seems like it's gonna be a good opportunity for me. I took it to my mom. My mom's like the oracle for everything. So I took it to my mom and she was like, horrible idea, horrible idea. I
wow.
decided this one time I'm gonna take the plunge. And so my first year, I took the plunge and furthered the relationship with this young lady. In my first year in the mortgage business, I was $20,000 less than what I was making in corporate America. So it appeared to be a huge failure,
Yeah.
right? But I had a different view of it. I had taken that first year and invested everything that I learned in that first year financially into myself, into back into the business, to my training, to my education. I invested in partnerships. I paid for relationships. I built meaningful relationships with that salary. The next year, I made almost 3 times as much that I made in my corporate years.
Right.
And then further fast forward about 3 years later, 4 years later, I was the number one mortgage banker in America for the largest mortgage company in America for the African American division, which was Countrywide Home Loans at the time,
Hmm.
right? And so I moved that business forward before the Great Recession. And when the recession hit, I had to pivot. We lost everything.
Wow. Yeah.
Right? The
2008.
mortgage, the mortgage business collapsed. Real estate didn't do well, and we knew in 2006, before they actually documented it in 2008, this was happening. We could see the business. I had a $40 million book of business and a dedicated underwriter and processor, and well, just under 40, 38, same thing. But we started seeing the signs. We started seeing people pull back on buying houses and mortgages.
Hmm.
I pivoted and started flipping houses, right? None of this has anything to do with sports, right? So I start flipping the houses, and I realized as I'm flipping houses, I'm giving a lot of money away to agents. It's like $30,000 or $40,000 a transaction I was giving away.
Yeah, that
I
three
was
percent.
giving them money on the front end to find the house,
Mm-hmm.
and I was giving them money on the back end to sell the house after I did all the work,
Yeah.
right? So I said, you know what? Let me circumvent this process and try to insert myself in here a little bit and save some thousands of dollars. Well, when I did that, um, I got my real estate license. Fast forward 2, 3 years of doing this, a friend of mine came to me with her daughter saying, "My daughter's got a real estate license. She's in the business and now, and I want you to take care of her."
Okay.
And as a favor to a friend, I brought her on to my brokerage, which had nobody at the brokerage at the time. It was just me. And I was just using it for that, for flipping.
Yeah.
Um, and when she came on, she had aspirations of bringing other people. Well, now we're 23 agents in 5 different states. And so that allowed me to really focus on what I really wanted to do, which was I wanted to be a developer.
Okay.
I met a guy whose father was a developer. His name was Todd France. Todd was the owner of, I believe it was Five Star Athletics at the time. His father was Jerry France. Jerry owns a lot of the Simonized malls all across the country. He's a huge developer, right? Millions and millions and millions of dollars. Now, now, as the story goes, Todd sold his agency to CAA Sports.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So for
Big.
those who don't know what CAA Sports is, that's if not the largest
Mhm.
sports agency in the
Yeah,
world.
in the world.
Yeah.
And at the time, Todd had a guy working with him by the name of Demarius Bilbo, um, who now is known for selling his football operation business to Clutch Sports,
But yeah.
which
Rich.
opened a football division with Rich. All right. So I had Todd. So these two guys were working together at the time. And when I met his father, who was a developer, and his father, and I knew there wasn't a specific career path to development. There was no school you could go to. There were no classes you could take. It wasn't about a real estate license. And I had been doing everything to learn everything about real estate over the years. The mortgage banking, the agency, now owning the brokerage. And I caught one thing that he said to me. He said, I usually ask my lawyers about that. He said that very often, right? And it started to like become a common theme in my head. Like, I usually ask my lawyers about that, but this is what I would say. This is my opinion. And what that did for me is it gave me a hint. I said, man, if he's got a lot of lawyers around him, what do other developers have?
Mm.
So I started looking closer at the law, as a way to become a developer, because either A, you're going to have a lot of money, or you're going to have a lot of skill in real estate law. So I didn't have a lot of money. I had decent money. I had a great career, but I didn't have the kind of money Jerry France had. So my pivot was law. I was going to go into law and become a real estate developer. Wow. Fast forward, I get out of law school, and my brother spent 10 years in the NFL.
Okay.
Okay. And he has me look at a contract for one of his friends. He says, "My friends need some help. I know you're a lawyer now. I need you to look at this." I have a cousin in the music industry. He has some situations. He said, "I need you to look at these situations." And with those situations, it was natural to me to review contracts, to know negotiations. All of these things have been developed over the years. And all those things poured into me for these specific moments. So I became the lawyer for my brother's friend, became my cousin's lawyer, and that led me to become lawyer for a legacy rapper by the name of JT Money
Hmm.
from out of Miami.
Hmm.
And then he opened up Undeniable Music, and then I became general counsel for Undeniable Music. And then from the sports side, you know, those relationships I had developed over the years with Bilbo and Todd that gave me the notoriety to say, hey, this guy, you know, really works hard and knows what he's doing. And so I took representations of some players from a legal standpoint, not as their agent, as the lawyer of an agent for athletes,
Mm-hmm.
right? So most agents are lawyers.
Yes.
Not all
Not,
agents are
not
lawyers.
all. Yeah.
Okay, so here's a saying that we have in the legal industry in regard to lawyers. A lawyer that has himself for a client has a fool for a client. Does that make sense?
A lawyer that has himself for a client. Yes. Yes.
You get
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so even lawyers need lawyers,
Absolutely.
right? Because it's very difficult to think objectively when you can't when you are emotionally attached to a situation.
Absolutely. You only see it one way.
You only see it one way. Even if you know the law, you're convinced that you have the right way of seeing it. So what I began to do is represent agents and give them another way of seeing their negotiations, their contract reviews,
Hmm.
their legal situations on a small scale. And that developed my reputation. And then I got calls from parents in regard, from friends who are in the industry, from former clients about their name, image, likeness deals. And then I started doing those deals. So now, up to this point, now I've done deals in Tennessee, I've done deals in Missouri, Rutgers, a lot of the other SEC schools, Georgia Tech, Georgia State. I mean, a number of deals, which a friend of mine who went to University of Georgia also he played on the team for University of Georgia. Said, listen, man, if you do an agency or anything like that, I want to be involved. He kept nudging me. He kept nudging me. He kept nudging me. So at the end of last year, I had two or three parents call me and say, "Listen, when are you going to become an agent? I want my kid with you as an agent, not just because it's the kind of person you are."
Yeah.
And
You
yeah,
trust.
I stepped out. Yeah, I stepped out. This was this was the second career that this had happened with. Remember, I told you first happened in real estate,
Real estate. Yeah.
right? Which is why the story is so long. And I wanted to pinpoint those two things because these were two things that were brought to me that I
Right.
didn't bring from my goal, my journey, I thought was real estate development.
Mhm.
But in that process, you know what I learned? That my purpose is people development.
Yeah. So that's important. So I wanted to get to that because listen to your story, and that's an impactful story. Um, you had a plan, but God had another plan. But the preparation came through what you thought you wanted,
Absolutely.
right? That was the preparation side of it. And in that preparing, it led you to your purpose and it helped you find your purpose. So without that training, without that experience, without that relationship, you would have
Yeah.
never got to this point. And
Yeah.
that's funny how God worked. And
It is.
and the thing is about a niche, you found a niche in a 200, like you said, a 200-year industry.
Yeah.
Who would ever think he's like, you know what? I need to represent other agents. Why not?
Why not?
Even to this day, people. This is my first time hearing this.
Yeah. Oh man, it's been, and some of the guys I've worked with, man, I mean, they've landed um some great deals. One of the guys landed the quarterback, Anthony Richardson. I worked with him back in the day. Um, Another one of the guys I think was that I had some conversations with and did some consultation on had it landed more recently the guy who just got picked up by the Raiders, the running back. I think it's Ashton Genty or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so these guys are, man, and Bilbo's record with Clutch is undeniable,
Yeah,
right? They brought on Nicole, and
yeah,
she dominated the market. I mean, and he's had people like Chase Young and Even back before he sold his business to Clutch, he had Jarvis Landry and
Mhm.
Alvin Kamara,
Yeah.
New Orleans guy. Yeah. So it's been, I mean, I've been extremely blessed to work with some people who have worked with some people. And that knowledge and that experience has allowed me to help other people develop,
Yeah. That's the best.
including,
That's the best thing, like we pay it for it. Like having the opportunity to see people, meet people, and gather and invest in those, I guess, those tools,
yeah,
being invested in somebody else. That's the most important thing. I think that's why we're here anyway to do that.
absolutely, absolutely.
So now, I want to fast forward because being the agent. So what would your title be? You would be what, a representative, agent?
Well, for as far as what okay, so the whole reason I got my agent's license was because with working with the agents, I wanted to understand very intimately the CBA,
Yeah,
okay, collective bargaining agreement.
already agreed. Yeah,
And so I wanted to understand those bargaining agreements because of working with basketball and football agents so well that I could advise my client with the best information.
yeah,
So I didn't get the license just because I wanted to be an agent. I got it because I wanted to be a better attorney and I wanted to be a better representative of my client, right?
yeah.
I wanted to be better legal counsel. And so that's how the agency stuff started. But more recently, with the start of my agency, I've taken the role of chief legal counsel.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
so of course, I'm the agent. It's my responsibility for the negotiations, but I also recognize that I'm a lawyer.
Yes.
I can't be both at the same time.
No, it's gonna be hard. It's like being a head coach and a coordinator.
Yeah, well, and it's also a conflict. It's unethical. It'd be unethical for me to represent my players as their agent and as their lawyer.
Yeah, well, that's true too. Yeah,
So because I so deeply care about the clients I work with, I am willing to set aside whatever desire I have or not, or even expertise that I have that could help them in one area and pick the area that's most important for their specific life.
yeah. That makes sense. That
And
makes sense.
so and so when you ask the question, about, what would you consider your title, it's basically um advocate.
Advocate, an
It
attorney.
all boils down to advocate, right?
Got you. An attorney advocate.
That's right. That's right.
so, so JJ, in all the endeavors and all the accomplishments that you faced in life, you then came to the crossroads where you became an author.
Yeah.
So I wanna talk about that because you know the good thing about being an author, most people have a story to tell and they want to express it through words, right?
Yeah.
The book In Formation,
Mhm.
right, which is so unique. I was like, man, I should have took that, man. I should have information, but it's in formation.
Right. Right.
So tell us about information and how the development, how that became.
Okay. So, one of the things on my list for life was, well, one of the things on my list as life continues is giving back, right? So I'm a guy. So I'm always believing and looking for ways to give back, right? So for many years I gave to the homeless shelter. For many years I've given money and through tithes and offering and sponsorships and supporting. But I wanted to give something that I thought was more special to God than any of those things, which was the talents God gave me,
Yeah,
right? And becoming an author to write a book was one of my bucket list goals, right? It wasn't necessarily right now, but then I met two young ladies at an event who just like hit me with it. I was having a conversation with them literally about something else, and they say, "Wow, man!" And then they pivoted from one conversation to the next, and they say, "You know what? You got a book in you."
Mm.
And it hit me. I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, what?" And so both of them, they were there at the same time. So they wanted to have this meeting, and I sat down with them, and I poured my just like I just described to you, my feelings about a book. I said, okay, I'll have the meeting. We sat down, and I said, I don't want to do a book for me. I want to do the book. If I'm going to do a book, it's going to be to help our community.
Yes.
It's going to be a gift back to our community. And I want to figure out how to give it to kids. I want to figure out how to give it to adults. I want something that can help. I say, so here's the issue I've been having. And I had to reflect on this. The issue I've been having with other clientele that are not famous, that are not sports athletes, but are just business owners looking to start businesses and become entrepreneurs, right? The issue was that they've always had a difficulty with knowing when to come to me and knowing what to come to me about.
Yeah.
But that starts at the outset of their journey to become an entrepreneur. By the time they get to a lawyer, they should be prepared to speak to a lawyer because they've had some success in forming and running a business.
Right.
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 Right. And so typically what I'm getting, especially from our community, is or people that look like us, is people that are looking to start a business. Now, that's a gross miswaste of their money, right? Because my hourly rate is too high for them to spend their money on trying to figure out how to get started.
Absolutely.
And many of us are not reading books, right? So one of the things was, well, I want to figure out how to put us in a better position to be in a relationship with lawyers,
Right.
right? I want to put us in a better position to be in relationship with having a successful business. I mean, 80% of the businesses fail in the first 3 years,
Absolutely. Yep.
right? And that's not an accident. And so one of the things I wanted to do, I wanted to be able to give out that information in a way that people could take this book, learn some basic foundational principles about getting them their business information. So, you play ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the most important and critical things about a play for it to be successful is the formation,
Absolutely.
right? And so getting into the proper formation does several different things through that play for that play. It prepares the team who's running the play to run it successfully,
Right.
right? For the team defending the play, it gives them an idea of what the other team is about to do, but it doesn't release the entire secret until they commit to the play. So being in formation is something that's critical for football. Here's the other thing. I did Army ROTC in college. All right. And one of the most important things about the military is being in the right formation. And
Structure.
so that's how information came about, is getting yourself in the right position. Now, here is the trick that did not occur to me, that's now just occurring to me now that this book is complete and now ready for the marketplace. What I didn't know at the time was we were going to run into an AI revolution.
Yes.
All right. The humans versus the machines is coming.
Yeah.
And in the next 3 to 5 years, more people will lose jobs to machines,
Yeah.
to AI, than in any other time in the history of our nation,
Mm-hmm.
in the history of the world. This is a new war.
Yeah.
Here's what's going to happen as a result. you're going to have to present your value individually.
You have to. Yeah.
It's going to be harder to jump in someone else's employment and provide employment value in return for money.
Right.
So if the employers, follow me with this, if the employers are going to be releasing employees, what are those people going to be doing in order to earn money? They're going to have to become entrepreneurs.
Have to.
They're going to have to take their talents, their products, their creativity, and their skills, and they're going to have to treat it like a business owner.
Yes.
And what this book does is prepare a person who has a business talent, who has a business product, who has any type of skill, like an athlete. Take this information and put it in a system. Take that skill or that talent and put it in this system and become a successful entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because just because you have talents and skills doesn't mean you know how to run a business.
Absolutely.
So that was one of the things that was critically important with the conversation I was having with the young ladies who were the genesis of this whole journey. That's what I wanted to make sure that people had this information, but I didn't realize until now how important it's going to be.
Yeah, man. Fun fact, numbers, these real numbers, like you said, in the next 3 years, it's over 200. They estimated between 200 to 800,000 people will be jobless in the next 3 years if they don't utilize their skill set. And the thing is, what we have, I had a class in college, and I always remember this. It was kinesiology class, right?
Yeah.
And my professor, he was the weirdest dude ever, right? Like, he was so weird, but he was like one of those brilliant guys. He had like a double master's from MIT, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he said something, and it stays with me to this day. He said, "What is the advantage that humans have over machines?" And he basically said, "We improve with use. The more we use ourselves, the better we get." And these right here, your hands, your skills,
Mm-hmm.
a computer can't replace that.
That's right.
So, to what you're saying, that makes a lot of sense, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad that you expressed that in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Putting into a strategy, into a formation, to where okay, this is how you structure this thing. This is how
Yeah.
foundation of where we need to go as an individual. And once you
Mm-hmm.
get yours individually handled and taken care of, collectively we can still be a force.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It allows you to step back and say, hey, listen, I've still got this skill set that's valuable. I still have value I bring to the table, but now I'm not going to be able to allow, or I'm not going to be in position to have an employer, want to employ me other than on a contract basis.
Right.
But if I am receiving money as a contractor or independent contractor on a contract basis, I can take those skills, and now that one skill I was using for working for one employer, I can take that skill and I can market it to 20 different employers
Yeah.
if I know how to run and inform a business, if I have the right systems in process, if I create the right get the right support. I may need an accountant. I may need a lawyer. I may need someone to work with me on intellectual property to help me understand. I may need a logo. I may need to do some brand building. But if I do these things, if I follow this guidance, then I can still focus on what I do best and not try to be, a CEO of this or that or the other. I know how those things are supposed to work.
Yeah. The rules of engagement are different. When our parents was coming up, their plan was to 30 years retirement and help
Yeah.
their kids.
Yeah.
And as we got older,
My parents are living in it right now. They're
yeah,
living off retirement.
yeah.
That's out the
With us, we thought that was going to be our plan, but we had to pivot because we had two crucial things that's taking place in our generation. We
Yeah.
had COVID,
Yeah.
and now we have AI.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, we try
Yeah.
to figure it out. But like you're saying, with this book information, utilize your skill set, formulate a business properly, then make it happen like that. Not saying that you're going to be a multi-millionaire or whatever, but it's yours, and
Right.
take that away from
And look, here's the thing. Setting the expectation for what success means is critically important. Is something I explained in the book, meaning defining what success means, right? In some industries, I'll give an example. The legal industry took a big hit last year, right? Many of the law practices closed doors or they were consumed by other law practices, right? My law practice grew 14%. The average growth for a law firm year over year is 3 to 8%, 3 to 8%. We did a tremendous job, but I felt in my mind some way that I had failed my business
it. Why is that?
because because initially I hadn't done the work to see and understand and define what success meant.
Okay.
So I had these gross uh, expectations of success that were related to how much money I have to buy a car, how much money I have to buy a house, what kind of car, what does a car monthly payment cost for a Porsche versus this and that and the other, and that was absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only one that does that.
Right. Absolutely.
We're victims of vision boards,
Mhm.
right? Somebody starts a vision board, they got an island on there, they got a
Yacht.
Bentley on
Right.
there, yachts, and then look, in 1 year, they're expecting all these things are going to manifest instead of getting the right expectations, saying, "Hey, listen, this goal takes 10 years, 20 years,
Yeah.
right? And let me get my affairs in order." And so improvement may mean 1% a day, which is huge. And in that improvement, I need to be understanding what that means for the industry that I've decided to reside in.
Yeah. That's important.
And so setting the tone for the right thinking is critically important because mindset is everything.
Absolutely. And everything you do.
Yeah. So that's one of the things I try to do with this book is try to redirect the mind to not gauge success on everybody or social media's idea of what success means.
Right.
Like you just said, and which is critically important, you can carve a healthy um, lifestyle out of being able to get yourself organized and get yourself in position through skills you already have, through a product you may have already invented, through some creativity you may have already used and been doing it for free this whole time.
Absolutely. That's real. That's how this podcast generated. I used to do this outside the bar, outside churches. I just had a conversation with people. I'm from the South, so the old people say I never met a stranger, right?
Right.
I just have conversation because I'm intrigued how people got to where they got without wanting anything from them.
You know who else says that?
Who's that?
50 Cent. You ever listen to him talk?
No, I never heard that.
Okay, so 50 Cent has a similar saying that, you know, about never meeting a stranger, about getting outside of the groups that you are familiar to, getting outside of the friends and the family that you're familiar to, and speaking to other people that you don't know.
Yeah,
Right? It's not the exact saying that you have, but it's the same meaning, which means, you know, going outside of your comfort zone in order to develop new relationships through just being who you are.
yeah. That's
Because you're just being who you are.
yeah, that's
And
real.
that's dope.
Yeah, that's real. So JJ, man, look, man, this is hey man, I'm gonna say inspiration. This is an inspirational conversation because it's good to see, a young man that's intelligent as you are, but at the same time, you still grounded and remaining humble and still trying to figure what does success mean for you so
Yeah.
you can tell others that you are in the book. So that's man, that's a blessing, man, and I appreciate that, man, that you have this information going through.
Thank you.
So how can people get in contact with you? How can people purchase the book? Or they want to have any book signings? What? Give me some information.
So the book launch is on July 26th. Okay, so we're gonna do a book launch party here in Atlanta. My IG is at JJ Poole Law. They are developing a page specifically for the book, which hasn't been completed yet. But Miss Whitehead will be coming up with the page, the landing page for the book.
Shout out Nadia. Shout out Nadia.
And then Amazon. The book will be on Amazon. And I think they've got a numerous amount of ways that they're gonna promote the book. And so right now, the best thing I can say is, follow me on IG at JJ Poole Law, and then I'll be putting out information, and then hopefully at some point the book will have its own page, independent of me, um, that has its own identity, separate from myself. I definitely don't want it to be about me. I want it to be about the information that enhances other people's lives.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Before we get out of here, I got one more question for you, man.
Yeah.
Because I know it's by me paying attention and listening to you, there are hints of spirituality that's in there that keeps hitting me. You might mention God here and there. I want to know, in terms of spirituality, how
Mhm.
does a person that does what you do, how do they engage their spirituality to maintain it and still be successful?
Well, for me, I'm pretty sure I can only speak for me at this juncture. But for me, it's starting each day. It's starting each day in my spirituality. It's starting out without the phone or the TV or anything else, and going in and starting with gratitude.
Yeah,
First, being number one, being thankful for another day, being thankful for another opportunity to get it right or get it better or to get better, and celebrating the day before, any growth from the day before, and then acknowledging where that opportunity comes from, right? Because each and every day there's a new opportunity,
yeah,
right? We don't always know what it's going to be. We try to have an idea. We try to gain control over that aspect of our humanity, in which we typically never end up doing. But I think it was critically important for me to start the day with gratitude, and to give thanks to my creator for all of the talents that I have, all of the things that I can give, all the people that I can affect, and just go from there,
yeah.
right? Make that number one. And so I feel like when I do that, I start out with the mindset, with the right way of thinking about my conversations throughout the day, about my interactions, about relationships I decided to get in or get out,
Yeah.
about the future of how to help more people, how to be more helpful, right? And then I think the universe chimes in and says, "Okay, here's how I'm going to help you too." Um, and so that just has worked for me in that way. Taking me out of it, and seeing me as a vessel. Like there's a saying in science that energy doesn't dissipate; it transfers. I'm an energy vessel, right? And so I'm just trying to be the best energy vessel I can. That's where I start, and then I'll leave it there, and then I keep going from there.
There you go. We look forward to Bishop Poole and the church. Nah, but nah, JJ, I appreciate that, man. Look, the words like
Yeah.
inspiring, man, inspiring. Man, and the conversation is good, man. I'm glad you came on the show because this is what our show is all about, having individuals that come on to do similar what you're doing and still helping the community out and paying it forward, man. So, man, much best luck to you and blessings to you and your endeavors and what you're doing and remaining impactful in our community.
Well, I'm grateful. I'm grateful you gave me the opportunity to be on the show. I really appreciate the opportunity. And any way I can uplift or help out the show in the future, please let me know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Guys, there you have it, man. You already know what it is. This is Black Adam from Culturally Distinct Podcast. I'm glad you guys tuned in. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to be hitting me up. If you got any comments for me, y'all know how to find me at Culturally Distinct Podcast everywhere. If you guys have any questions for JJ, hit JJ up at JJ Poole Law on IG. The book will be coming out July 26th. Make sure you go grab your copy. Make sure JJ is going to put information out where the book signing is going to be. So make sure you keep your ear tuned to the streets. Guys, man, I thank you guys, man. This is a blessing. All of this is what God gave me, and I'm just imparting that on you guys, man. So, guys, man, once again, shout out to my sponsor, 605 Adult Beverages, Red Call Universe, and Call Audio, man. Guys, every week I hit you with the same slogan. I'm always hit you with it before we get out of here. I love you guys, and you can't do nothing about it. Have a good one. Peace.